Hi, you're watching Floyd Steinberg's YouTube channel. Zynthian 5.1 is here. It's both a hardware and a software update. We'll take a look at the new operating system called Iridium later. First, let's install the hardware. Let's take a look at the update kit. Here's the version 5 mainboard. I got this as a backup in case something goes wrong, because as far as I understand, I'm the first person to try this. There's also a Raspberry Pi, a new display cable, a cooling block, a USB Type-C adapter cable and a strip of thermal paste. Begin by disassembling the enclosure. Remove the 6 screws on the sides, then carefully lift up the top part. Unplug the SD card adapter and the USB Type-C cable from the Raspberry Pi 4. Then remove all the screws holding the mainboard in place. Turn around the enclosure and remove the 2 screws holding the cooling block in place. The board should now come loose. Put the enclosure aside and place the board on the table carefully. Now unplug the ribbon cables. Push the clamps out with your thumbs to release them. There are 3 of them that need to be removed: the old display cable, the USB Type-C adapter cable and the cable connecting the controller board to the main board. Next, remove the 4 small screws holding the Raspberry Pi 4 in place. Now remove the Pi 4 and loosely push the Pi 5 into its header so you can easily pull it up again. As you can see, the order of the USB and network ports was reversed on the Pi 5, so it can't sit flush on the mainboard. We need to remove a part of the mainboard to fix that. With a marker, draw a line on the mainboard where the Pi 5's left edge is. It should look somewhat like this. Then, take a Dremel and start sawing. Best idea is to use a metal cutting disc. At first I couldn't find one, so I used a wood saw disc, which was quite challenging, to put it mildly. Be aware that this process creates some rather intense fumes and fine dust, so you'll probably want to do this outside. Okay, this still is tedious. Let's bring out the big guns. You also need to remove the small metal bars on the back of the enclosure. For this, a Dremel is mandatory. Fortunately, I found the metal cutting discs in the meantime, so this was only a bit tedious. Here's how the result should look like. Please take note the bottom is now straight line, so take your time to get it right. Now it's time to apply the thermal paste strip. Mark the strip to have 20 x 28, 19 x 12, 14 x 9 and 11 x 11 mm squared rectangles and cut them out. The 3 smaller rectangles go onto the thermal block. Now, open the clamp of the first port next to the network adapter. Push the display cable in with the braided side facing up. Then push the clamp down again using your thumbnails. Now put the thermal block onto the Pi 5 and fix it with the 4 small screws that previously held the thermal block on the Pi 4. As we willingly damaged the mainboard previously, we now need to repair it. Turn the board around so all the electronic components are facing downwards. Then spot the 4 solder pads left of the cut you made previously. We need to solder on the USB adapter cable to make the USB Type-B port functional again. The green wire or data plus goes onto the upper left pin, while the white wire or data minus goes onto the lower left pin. It's a good idea to secure the wires with hot glue. Also, cut away the top of the red and black wires to avoid short-circuiting them. Now fold the cable as seen in the video so it's facing right. Put the rest of the thermal strip onto the thermal block. Don't remove the protective foil yet. Now push the Pi5 into its header. Make sure the display cable isn't stuck and has wiggle room. Turn around the board and put the 4 screws holding the Pi5 into place. You can try to use the SD card adapter cable, but chances are it won't work. So if the screen stays dark after booting, insert the SD card directly into the Raspberry Pi's card slot. Now insert the USB Type-C adapter cable you soldered to the board into the USB Type-C slot. Remove the protective foil from the last thermal strip and then place the board into the lower enclosure and fix it with the screws. Now place the upper enclosure next to the board and connect both the control and the screen ribbon cable. Once that's done, lower the screen onto the bottom part. Take care not to get any cables where they don't belong. Then reattach the 6 screws holding the 2 parts together. Last but not least, fix the thermal block using the 2 screws left. And that's it. If everything went down smoothly, you can now turn back on your Zynthian, enjoying a vastly improved CPU performance and the new OS update, which we'll take a look at now. To get the update, simply visit the project's webpage, scroll all the way down and download the latest image. Then unzip that file and write the image to an SD card using a tool like WinDisk32. Then insert the SD card into Zynthian and turn it on. Okay, this part of the video is a bit improvised. I just want to show you the new functions in Zynthian, or some of them that I find interesting. This is a major step forward for this system. So yeah, let's take a look. Here I'm on the mixer screen, and now I'll just start by adding a drum track. Press admin, then press add instrument chain, and we're just going to use as-fizz here. Put it on MIDI channel 1, and now we can select one of the drum machines. Let's just use the Roland TR909 here. And now we want to go to the sequencer, which is on this button. And now you can see those clips. You can play back live. I showed that in another video, so I'm not going to elaborate on that one again. Press pattern step. First thing we want to do is to adjust the length of this pattern, and press admin, then change the number of beats in pattern to 8. Like this. You can use those 4 knobs here on the right. And I want to show you that they actually introduced zoom gestures. So you can now do something like this, which is really great and makes it so much more usable. So you can now scroll through the pattern, you can zoom it, you can pinch it, whatever you like. Okay, for this demonstration I want to use a simple 4-to-the-floor beat. That may be boring, but I have my intentions with this in order to show you some of the new stuff later. Now we can go back to our step editor and listen to this. Okay, now one of the major news in Zynthian is the introduction of audio routing from one track to another, which enables you to use sidechaining. So let's add another track here. Add another instrument chain, and now let's use a synthesizer. And by the way, you can see we can switch through instrument categories using the cursor keys here. And there's now a label for every instrument that is available here, which is great. And you can also see the community ratings, and you can see more information if you pad on this or tap on this. So let's use a simple synth like JX10 here and put it on channel 2, and I want to have a bass drone. Yeah, this is nice. So yeah, next thing I want to do is to go to the pad editor again, then select this pattern here and edit this, and now once again increase the number of beats to 8. Like this. And now you can just press record and record a bass note. Okay, now yeah, let's add some sidechaining to this. So what we want to do is to add a compressor to this track. So hold this down. Now add a pre-fader audio effect, and yeah, now we can once again switch through the pages here. We want to have dynamics effects. Now let's use this sidechain compressor. Okay, and now before we edit this, we also need to add audio routing to the first track, because the drums will be the trigger of a sidechaining. So hold down your finger on this track here and then go to the audio out options and then redirect your drums to the sidechain compressor. Alright, so now go back to the mixer and edit this again, then press the preset button. Now you can scroll down here and edit the sidechain compressor's parameters. Okay, now press the control preset button again, and now you have the sidechaining options here. You can reach them with this arrow key. And we want to go to the last page, turn on the routing and the sidechaining level. Now let's optimize this. First I want to turn down the filter frequency a bit. Let's add some more tracks. Yeah, and that's it for today. Zynthian 5.1 based on the Raspberry Pi 5. And if you think this was a good YouTube video, please do the YouTube thing. As always, thanks for watching and see you again very soon. Bye bye.